Ash Media's coverage of the Australian Super Sedan title, proudly brought to you by Speedway Sedans Australia.
137 street stock with no issue. 40 Super Sedans were. They're away in racing in the last event. Down into turn number one. And it's Matty Smith out in front on the outside, and taking the lead is Daniel Johnson. Back in third place is Casey Collins. Brooke Etherton in fourth, and Matty McGee. Oh, Brooke Etherton got sideways. Matty McGee went sideways as well. Yellow lights have come on, and there'll be a restart. Brooke Etherton went sideways. Matty McGee tapped the back end. Both went to the infield, and they're both sitting there. Called a lot of these kids over the years in the Australian titles. They're away. Matty McGee got a flyer up the inside of Brooke Etherton. Went into second place. Daniel Johnson, three-quarter track high. And Matty McGee has snuck up underneath of all of them and hit the front. So Matty McGee takes up the running here in the 15-lap feature race. Oh, there's a challenge further back. One of them has turned into a bulldozer. It's come through to rate of knots. The race leader is Matty McGee. Matty Smith in second place. Brooke Etherton fights back on the inside. Back then in fourth place is that of Daniel Johnson as they move out of turn four. And well, it's a bit of a turn up for the books. Matty Smith back there in third place behind Matty McGee and Brooke Etherton on the inside. Smith on the outside, back to Casey Collins. Casey O'Connell, then also there Daniel Johnson. In fact, it's Daniel Johnson who's up there in fourth place. So come out of turn number four. Out in front it's Matty McGee. Back to Brooke Etherton. The 36 car of Matty Smith. Fourth place is Johnson. O'Connell, then Collins. One of the cars is out. Casey O'Connell goes to the infield. Out of turn four, Matty McGee the leader. Brooke Etherton in second place. Smith, Johnson, back to Collins. Sixth place now is Smithwick. Alex Sweeney is next, then Ellie Peacock leading a huge wall of cars. Still 20 of them out on track into the main straight. 5 down and 10 to go. McGee still in front of Etherton. Smith in third place. Right there with them is Daniel Johnson. Whoa! Brooke chopping right across the infield here. Smith around the outside of Etherton. Smith back to second place. Etherton third. Back to Johnson. Out of turn four, Matty McGee. Car one is second, Matty Smith. Etherton. Fourth place is Daniel Johnson. Out of turn four they come, they're in lap traffic. 8 down and 7 to go. Matty McGee has the quick time of 17.979. Which way will they zig and zag? They come up on Abby Meehan. Matty Smith closes the gap. Brooke Etherton in third place. Behind Brooke Etherton is Daniel Johnson. So come out of turn number two. Out of turn four, McGee, Smith. The margin is a couple of car lengths. Half a dozen to go. McGee goes low. Smith goes high. Down the back straight past the grandstand. Etherton in third place still. Back then to Johnson, Collins and Smithwick. Out of turn four comes the leaders. There's going to be a run to the line with 5 to go. McGee, second place is car number one of Matty Smith. On the outside of Brooke Etherton goes Daniel Johnson back into third place as they zig and zag through the lap traffic. 4 to go for Brooke Etherton, for Matty McGee. Smith in second place, closing the gap. Third place is Johnson. Etherton fourth. Fifth place is Collins and then Smithwick. Alex Sweeney, Cody O'Connell. But Matty McGee will lead them into the main straight with 3 to run. Matty McGee, Matty Smith mowing her down. Third place, Brooke Etherton ran wide. Oh, Brooke Etherton goes infield. And Matty Smith's out of noise. Matty Smith of the Queensland champions out of noise with 2 to go. Out in front it's Matty McGee. Matty McGee is the leader. Brooke Etherton rejoins the race. Daniel Johnson second now. Up into third place is Casey Collins and Maddie Smith. White flag to come out for Maddie McGee though. Into the main straight, out it comes, one to run. It's Maddie McGee who leads Daniel Johnson, then Casey Collins. Fourth place in the race now is Maddie Smith. Don't know what happened there. Bo Smithwick and then Alex Sweeney. But out of turn 4 the last time. One of the veterans of junior racing, Maddie McGee, is first home. Maddie McGee wins the feature race. Flag to flag. Second place goes to Daniel Johnson. Up for third place, Casey Collins. I don't know what happened to Maddie Smith. Recovered for fourth. Back to Bo Smithwick, Alex Sweeney, Cody O'Connell, Ellie Peacock. Braith Hogan is next, Joel Curd. Dakota Laverty is 11th, then Caitlin Story, Nick Moncrief. Eric Wallace, Brooke Etherton finishes 15th. Mitch Simmons, then Michael Larson, Abby Meehan was the last to complete the distance. 4 minutes 35.086. The winning margin is 2.182. And the quick lap was a 17.749 by Maddie Smith. But it's Maddie McGee, Daniel Johnson and Casey Collins in the lucky last. That was the preliminary feature race for junior sedans tonight in the Central Queensland title to round out night number 1 here at the Rockhampton Showgrounds of the Australian Super Sedan title. McGee, Johnson and Collins, your first 3 in the final heat, well, the final race of the night, and repeating the points in the Super Sedans, Callum Harper, Dave Gardner, Steve Latham, Darren Caden, Brad Wicks,